Alright, I'm back with another video about my Audi A4 1.8T AEB motor. This head just came back from the machine shop today. I had it milled. The underside of it looks really good. It looks brand new. It went into a big wash bin, so I mean it came out looking like brand new. And I got all my new parts here, all new gaskets, belts, pulleys, water pump, pretty much everything on the front of the engine that has to do with the motor. I'm planning on replacing timing chain tensioner. Had to get a new cam gear. Obviously the last one was broken. And new head bolts. And I also got a new valve today. And what I want to show you guys is this homemade compressor attachment, I guess you would call it. What I did is I took an old solder sucker and I tried everything that I could think of to compress this spring. First I tried the other half of the solder sucker. This is where you go down, but it wasn't going to work. It wasn't strong enough. I tried so many different methods, and finally I took this piece of the solder sucker, and you can see my Dremel over there. Just took it with one of these bits here, and I cut a square. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty dark in here right now, but it's as bright as I can get it. But I have plenty of room to get down into the valve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this, I'm going to dip it in some grease, and I'm going to use that to stick to the valve lock, and then I'm going to put it in. Here was another thing I thought might work, but it's just too big for an attachment. If I had somebody to record, I could show exactly how I'm going to put these in, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in, and then I'll check back in when I'm done. Alright, I just got done installing that valve, and here's a look at the mill job. It looks really good. The finish on this looks great. He only needed to take one pass over this, so it really wasn't too bad. Probably wasn't warped at all, but you know, I bought this car without any previous knowledge of it, and whenever you buy a car that you don't know the history of it, and there's something wrong with it and it doesn't run, and you got to take the head off, it's always a good idea to get it milled. Usually for a 4-cylinder it's between 40 and 50 bucks, maybe 60 on the high side. It's just cheap insurance to make sure that you have a nice flat surface, because if the previous owner ever overheated the car, then there's a good chance that you're going to have some high spots, some low spots. You're going to have a little bit of warpage, and you're not going to get a good seal. You could blow a head gasket, and you really don't want to do this job again. You know what I mean? You don't want to do it twice. So it's always good to get it done. Let me flip the head over and we'll take a look at the valve spring that we just put in. Alright, there it is. This one right here. And this tool worked. Where did I put it? Here it is. This tool worked so well. I really couldn't be happier. My solder sucker actually stopped working. When you press it, it would just go up, or it wouldn't lock. And when I took it apart, I found that one of the clips, just a little C-clip, was broken, so that was the reason for that. But this wasn't very expensive, and I just took the Dremel to it and just cut a little access way, and it fits perfect right in there. I'm going to keep this. This is, you know, it worked really, really well. And yeah, if you got an old solder sucker laying around, chop it up. It worked wonderful for these valves. Very simple to put in. Only took a minute. Just put a little grease on the end of at the end of the screwdriver and the flathead, and just stick it in there and put it right in the grooves. I had a little bit of a hard time because either my valve or my screwdriver was magnetized, and it was just causing it to just cling to things. And what I did is I just put more grease. Once I put more grease on there, I had more control of it. The magnet was weaker, and I was just able to stick it right into the groove. And take one of these sockets here. Yeah, it's good. It's locked in there. There was a guy that used to live around me at my old house, and he was an engine builder, and he used to, on the small block heads, the valves are up here, and he would just take it and he would just give it a whack with a hammer after he installed valve locks, just to make sure that it was on there. He would just give it a good whack with the hammer. So I just wanted to make sure that this is locked in place, just up and down, kind of try to simulate what the cam will do. And it's good to go. I can start putting this into the car tomorrow.